What is up, Buckeye Nation 2? And you already know what time it is. It is time for the annual bowl game predictions. Bowl games start in about a week from when I'm recording this. Actually, yeah, exactly in a week. Oh, wait. December 16th of Friday. So, technically a little less than a week, but yeah, but I will get started. So here we go. In the hometown Lenders Bahamas Bowl, we have UAB versus Miami of Ohio. That will be taking place December 16th, 11:30 a.m. And my winner in this game, a little biased because my mom went to Miami of Ohio, so I picked them to win. Next, we have the Duluth Trading Cure Bowl, Troy versus UTSA, December 16th at 3 p.m. I have UTSA winning it. I mean, the University of Texas at San Antonio. I just like the state of Texas. I mean, most of these pickers are just like random why I pick the team. But I actually do think they have a solid team. Wasabi Fenway Bowl, Cincinnati versus Louisville, December 17th, 11 a.m. I am going with Cincinnati. I know their playoff team from last year got completely disassembled during the NFL draft, but I still think they have a solid team, and I think that they will win their bowl game. Cricket Celebration Bowl, Jackson State versus NC Central, December 17th at 12 p.m. Unfortunately, Deion Sanders left, but I still think his presence will be felt, so I'm going with Jackson State. Next, we have the PUBG Mobile New Mexico Bowl. I didn't even know that was a thing. BYU versus SMU at December 17th at 2:15 p.m. I have SMU winning because they're in Texas, and I do think they have a good team. Sorry, Mormons, but I don't think you're going to win this one. Next, we have the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl, Fresno State versus Washington State, December 17th at 3:30 p.m. I remember when Washington State was pretty good, but I still think they're solid, so I think I'm going with Washington State in this one. London Tree Bowl, Southern Miss versus Rice, December 17th, 5:45 p.m. Okay, I know Rice is in Texas, but I don't think Rice usually is not they're notorious for having bad football teams, so I think they'll lose this to Southern Miss. Next, we have the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl, Florida versus Oregon State, December 17th, 7:30 p.m. Florida is a joke this year, especially now with the rumors of Jalen Kitna, what he did. If it's true, that's awful. But I think those rumors are circulate around them, and they will distract them from this bowl game. And I'm going with Oregon State. Next, we have the Frisco Bowl, Boise State versus Northern Texas, December 17th, 9:15 p.m. Boise State does well in bowl games, so that is why I'm picking Boise State to win this one. Next, we have the Myrtle Beach Bowl, UConn versus Marshall, December 19th, 2:30 p.m. I'm going with Marshall. They beat Notre Dame, and I think that was a great win, and I think they have a good team. Famous Idaho Potato Bowl, San Jose State versus Eastern Michigan, December 20th, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Michigan, they tend to do well in these bowl games, so I'm going with Eastern Michigan. Next, we have the RoofClaim.com Boca Raton Bowl, Toledo versus Liberty, December 20th, 7:30 p.m. I think Liberty does very well in bowl games, so I pick Liberty to win. Next, we have the RNL Carriers New Orleans Bowl, South Alabama versus Western Kentucky, December 21st at 9 o'clock p.m. Give me Western Kentucky. I think they tend to have solid teams in these bowl games. I know my answers are cliche, but that's what I'm going to say for pretty much all of them. Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, Air Force, which is Air Force versus Baylor at December 22nd, 7:30 p.m. I'm going with Baylor. I mean, Air Force, I know, I think the military teams, they don't really tend to do well in the bowl games, and plus Baylor is a solid team. Next, we have the Radiance Tech Independence Bowl, Houston versus Louisiana, December 23rd at 3 o'clock p.m. Louisiana does well in bowl games, so I'm going with them. Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. I hate that name so much. Every single year I've had to say it. Missouri versus Wake Forest, December 23rd, 6:30 p.m. I'm going with Wake Forest. They have a solid football team, and And I know, my boy Mikey and Uncle Brett, my boys, they aren't too happy. They drove 10.5 hours to watch Syracuse lose, but against Wake Forest. But I think Wake Forest is a good team, so I'll pick them to win. Next, we have the Easy Post Hawaii Bowl, San Diego State versus Middle Tennessee on Christmas Eve at 8 p.m. San Diego State usually has pretty good football teams. I know the Ariza stuff happened, but Ariza's there no longer, and I think San Diego State will win. Quick Lane Bowl, New Mexico State versus Bowling Green, December 26th at 2:30 p.m. New Mexico State has great bowl teams, so I'm going with New Mexico State. Camellia Bowl, Georgia Southern versus Buffalo, December 27th, 12 p.m. My mom went to Miami, Ohio, but my dad went to Buffalo, so I'm picking Buffalo this game. And Buffalo actually does have solid teams. Has had solid teams in the past. SERVPRO First Responder Bowl, Utah State versus Memphis, December 27th, 3:15 p.m. I remember I had a tough time choosing one or the other, but it was kind of like a type of coin flip type of game. So I picked Utah State. Both teams are really good. I can see it going either way. The Battle of the Carolinas in the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl, East Carolina versus Coastal Carolina, December 27th at 6:45 p.m. Going with Coastal Carolina. They have had solid teams in the past, and I think they will win this. Next, we have the Guaranteed Rate Bowl, Wisconsin versus Oklahoma State, December 27th at 10:15 p.m. I'm going with Wisconsin because Big Ten teams, criminally underrated. Wisconsin will win this. Military Bowl, Duke versus UCF, December 28th at 2 p.m. Duke is a basketball school. They won't win this. UCF, they're more of a football school, so they'll win. AutoZone Liberty Bowl, Arkansas versus Kansas, the Battle of the Kansas. So we had the Battle of Carolinas, now we have the battle. Oh my gosh, voice crack. Battle of the Kansases, December 28th at 5:30 p.m. I'm going with Arkansas. Kansas is a basketball school again. Next we have the SDCCU Holiday Bowl, Oregon versus North Carolina, December 28th at 8 p.m. Oregon is a joke, so I'm picking North Carolina. Next we have the Texas Bowl. Nice, Texas. Texas Tech versus Ole Miss, December 28th, 9 p.m. You think I was going to pick Texas Tech? Nope, you're wrong. Ole Miss, they have pretty good football teams, so Ole Miss will win this. Next, the Pinstripe Bowl, Syracuse, have a lot of friends who are Syracuse fans, versus Minnesota, December 29th at 2 p.m. It's a tough one. I want to pick Syracuse, but the only problem is Minnesota's good. They're in a tough Big Ten division, and they were bowl eligible. So I think Minnesota will win it. Although Syracuse, they fell off. Like, keep in mind, in their last 6 games, they lost 5 of them. So don't see Syracuse winning this. Sorry guys, but who are Syracuse fans, but I hate to break to you, but Minnesota's gonna win. Next, Cheez-It Bowl, Florida State versus Oklahoma, December 29th, 5:30 p.m. Oklahoma is an absolute joke this year. Florida State is winning. They beat LSU. Although LSU they were good for most of the season until the end. They fell off at the end. But they beat a pretty solid LSU team. Next, we have the Valero Alamo Bowl, Washington versus Texas, December 29th, 9 p.m. I love Texas, except the University of Texas. Their football team is overrated. They're a joke. They're clowns. Washington will win this. Washington is actually valid. Texas, no. Texas, no. I'm not a fan of this Texas. They're not that good. Duke's Mayo Bowl, NC State versus Maryland, December 30th, 12 p.m. I'm going with Maryland, Big Ten team, and they put up a great fight against the Ohio State Buckeyes, who are in the college playoffs. So Maryland will win this. Next, we have the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, Pitt versus UCLA, December 30th, 2 p.m. Give me UCLA. Pick it left, and ever since then, Pitt hasn't been crazy. But I think UCLA, they're pretty darn good. Now we got to get a sip of our sponsor. No, I'm joking. I wish they were my sponsor. Body Armor, please sponsor me. Okay, here we go. Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Notre Dame versus South Carolina, December 30th at 3:30 p.m. South Carolina, they've been on fire. They beat Tennessee, then they beat Clemson. Give me South Carolina. Notre Dame, they did better towards the end, but just they aren't the same this year. South Carolina, give me them. I think they're a good team. Next, we have the Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl, Ohio versus Wyoming, December 30th, 4:30 p.m. Down in Ohio, swag like Ohio. That's right, Ohio's winning this. Capital One Orange Bowl, Tennessee versus Clemson, December 30th, 8 o'clock p.m. This is going to be a heck of a game, but I think since these two teams both lost to South Carolina, but I think Tennessee won their rivalry matchup, but Clemson lost their rivalry matchup. Give me Tennessee. Next, we have the TransPerfect Music City Bowl, Kentucky versus Iowa, New Year's Eve, 12 o'clock p.m. Iowa, they're a Big Ten team. Give me Iowa. Kentucky, your basketball school. All-State Sugar Bowl, Alabama versus Kansas State, Christmas Eve, 12 o'clock p.m. As much as I want the underdog Kansas State to win, I don't see them winning. Give me Alabama and Bryce Young. They're just too good. All these babies are like, oh, they got stuff for the playoffs. No. They're good for, like, normal team standards, but bad for, like, what they usually are. Next, we have the VRBO Fiesta Bowl, which is the first playoff game. We have the team up north. I will not be referring to their real name because, their boys' rival. Versus TCU, December 31st, which is Christmas Eve, 4 p.m. I'm really hoping that TCU can pull it off, but I don't see it happening. I don't think TCU should really be in the playoffs, to be honest, but it's good to have change, and whenever Alabama's out, it makes me happy. But I don't see them winning. I think the team up north will win. Next, the second playoff game, the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Georgia versus the Ohio State University, Christmas Eve, 8 o'clock p.m. As much as I want my team, I really want Ohio State to win. It would mean a lot to me, but I just don't see it happening against the number one insane Georgia. I mean, it's hard to, pick against my boys, but it will make me see, as a once wise man said, expect disappointment and you will not be disappointed. Logic. Because see, if I go in expecting Ohio State to win, and if they lose, then I'll be super disappointed, which I don't want that to happen. Next, we have the ReliaQuest Bowl. We have Illinois versus Mississippi State, January 2nd at 12 p.m. Illinois put up a great fight against the 2 seed, the team up north. So, Illinois, I got them winning this one. Next week, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl, Tulane versus USC. I don't know how they got to play Tulane, but January 2nd, 1 p.m. This is going to be a manslaughter. USC is going to absolutely whoop Tulane. And now we have the Citrus Bowl, LSU versus Purdue, January 2nd at 1 p.m. Big Ten team, give me Purdue, and LSU has fallen off too, as I said previously in the video. Next, we have the Rose Bowl, which is Utah versus Penn State, January 2nd at 5 p.m. Penn State, they're in the Big Ten. However, they do awful against the ranked teams. They never have done well against ranked teams, so I cannot pick them to win this one. Give me Utah. And Utah is criminally underrated as well. Utah has a good team. And now we go into the national championship, which if you heard my 2 playoff ones, is going to be the team up north versus Georgia, January 9th at 8 p.m. Give me Georgia on this one. Georgia will repeat back-to-back. Georgia is such a great team. I know they lost a decent amount of people in the draft. That does not matter. They are still a heck of a team. I think the final score will be 40-27. And those are my bold predictions. Make sure to subscribe down below, like this video, and leave in the comments what I should do next, or what you agree or disagree with, and who you think will win the national championship. So, thank you for listening, and until next time, Buckeye Nation 2 gives all the videos to you.